The war had left nothing for Ethan Cole. No home, no family, no rank, just a battered field medkit and a stubborn heartbeat that refused to quit. He'd been wandering the outer colonies, offering medical help to anyone who needed it, human or alien, when he heard the whispers. The Queen's daughter is dying. She was injured in the last assault. The Queen has forbidden humans to come near. The Queen in question was Virilha of the Aza Dominion, a towering, cobalt-skinned ruler whose hatred for humans was etched into every speech and decree. She blamed them for her husband's death in the First War. Her daughter, Princess Erin, was her only child, and the Queen had vowed no human hands would touch her. Ethan didn't care for politics, but a wounded child was a wounded child. And if no one else dared, the palace gates loomed ahead, guarded by soldiers in gleaming exo-armor. They leveled their energy lances the moment they saw him. "I'm here to help the princess," Ethan said, raising his empty hands. No human approaches her, the lead guard growled, mandibles flaring. "The Queen's orders are clear." Ethan's voice stayed calm. "Then tell the Queen this. If she refuses my help, her daughter will be dead within hours. I've seen those wounds before." The guards exchanged uneasy glances. One disappeared inside the palace. Minutes later, Ethan was dragged into the throne room. The Queen sat upon her crystalline throne, her eyes like molten silver, her posture as rigid as the blade strapped to her hip. The room smelled faintly of ozone and crushed herbs. "You are either brave or foolish to come here, human," she said, her voice deep and resonant. "Maybe both," Ethan replied. "But I hear your daughter's dying, and I'm the only medic within 100 kilometers." The Queen's gaze narrowed. "You think I would let the same species that slaughtered my husband touch my child?" "I think," Ethan said quietly, "you love your daughter enough to put aside that hate for a few hours." Silence hung between them. Then, with a sharp gesture, she signaled her guards. "Bring him to her. If he fails, kill him." The princess lay in a darkened chamber, her breathing shallow, her skin a pale shimmer under the biolights. A deep plasma burn seared across her side, and infection was already spreading. Ethan knelt beside her, setting down his medkit. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing the same molten silver as her mother's, though softer. "You're human," she whispered. "Yeah," Ethan said, scanning the wound. "But I'm here to help." "Why?" Her voice trembled. "We're supposed to be enemies." "Enemies don't matter when someone's bleeding out," he said, prepping a field injector. "You're a kid. You deserve a chance to live. That's all." The next hours were a blur of careful work. Ethan cleaned the burn, neutralized the infection, and stitched the torn tissue with microsutures. The princess winced but never cried out. Occasionally, she studied his face like she was trying to understand him. Finally, he administered a regenerative serum, his last vial. He'd been saving it for himself, in case of emergencies. When he was done, sweat slicked his hair, and his hands ached. "You should start feeling better in a few hours," he told her softly. "The rest is up to your body." Her eyes began to close. "Thank you, Ethan." The Queen entered as he packed his kit. Her gaze fell on the princess, then on him. "She sleeps," Ethan said. "The serum will do the rest. But you need to keep the wound clean and change the dressing every 6 hours." The Queen's face was unreadable. "You used your own supplies. Supplies you could have sold for food, shelter, survival." "I didn't have much to begin with," Ethan admitted. "Guess I have less now. But she's worth it." Her eyes softened, barely. "You have nothing, yet you gave everything." "I know what it's like to lose someone," Ethan said quietly. Didn't want you to feel that too. He expected to be escorted out, maybe even paid off to disappear. Instead, the queen summoned him back the next morning. The princess was sitting up, color returning to her cheeks. When she saw him, her face lit up. "Ethan," she said, her voice stronger. "Hey, kid. Looking better already," he said with a smile. "She told me," the queen said slowly, "that you stayed through the night, even when the guards warned you of accidents." Ethan shrugged. Didn't want to risk her getting worse. The queen studied him for a long time. Finally, she spoke. "You are still human, but perhaps not all humans are as I believed." 2 days later, Ethan was preparing to leave when the princess caught him in the courtyard. "You're going?" she asked. "Got other people to help," he said. "Besides, I don't exactly fit in around here." She hesitated, then hugged him. A quick, fierce gesture. "You saved my life. I won't forget." The queen stood nearby, silent. When Ethan turned to go, she spoke. "Ethan Cole," she said, her voice carrying across the courtyard, "you walk the Dominion as a friend of the crown. No guard shall bar your way." He glanced back, meeting her eyes. "Thank you, Your Majesty." As he left the palace, he couldn't help the faint smile that tugged at his lips. He had nothing, but for the first time in a long time, it felt like he'd gained something worth more than anything he'd lost.